World History, Part 7 Imperialism in Africa, China, and India. By Think Sapling. Disclaimer: this video is for educational purposes only. It is not political or opinion based. It simply explains school curriculum topics in a clear and factual way. Today we're going to be talking about imperialism overall. So, overall imperialism, the reasons, the white man's burden, imperialism in Africa, the background, the Berlin Conference, imperialism in China, background, Opium War, the sphere of influence, open door policy, the Boxer Rebellion, and Japan becomes imperial, imperialism in India, the background, the British East India Company, the Sepoy Mutiny, the resistance and independence movements, and Indian independence. So we're going to first start off with our imperialism overall, just so you understand what imperialism is, to understand more. So what is imperialism? It is when a more powerful country exerts influence or force on weaker, poorer countries. So what are the reasons countries do imperialism? Business interests, like countries want raw materials, natural resources, or new customers. Military interests believe that they need to protect their economic interests in foreign countries. Stronger countries mean stronger navies. And social Darwinism thinking. White rich Christians have the duty to civilize the rest of the world. Which leads us to our next topic, the white man's burden. This was a poem by Rudyard Kipling in 1899. The poem urged European countries and the U.S. to take the burden of building an entire empire and caring for those less than. The idea that the white race is superior to others and therefore responsible. That was the main thing that justified imperialism. So first we're going to go with imperialism in Africa. The background. Africa was rich with resources and culture. In the 15th century, Europeans established ports in Africa for trade. They discovered gold and diamonds in South Africa, and it increased European interest. There was no European power that wanted to be left out. Which leads us to the Berlin Conference. It was from 1884 to 1885, where the European countries feared war among themselves. So 14 nations met at the Berlin Conference to lay down rules for the division of Africa. Any country could claim land as long as unless they showed that they could control it. European countries didn't consider the native groups before dividing it, and African rulers weren't invited. By 1914, only Liberia and Ethiopia remained independent. By that time, all nations agreed to stop the slave trade in Africa. Imperialism in China. The background. Asia was connected to Europe by the Silk Road. Europeans visit China early on, for example, Marco Polo. In 1793, Chinese emperor refuses permission for British merchants to trade in China. In the 1800s, British merchants introduced opium, leading to 12 million addicts by 1835. The Opium War. It lasted from 1839 to 1842. China failed to stop opium trade due to British gunships. The sphere of influence. In 1844, treaties gave foreigners extraterritorial rights, where Western nations divided China into regions with exclusive economic privileges. The open door policy. The U.S. opposed European colonization in China, so they proposed equal trade access for all nations with China. The Boxer Rebellion. Many Chinese were against foreigners settling in China, so they made a secret group called the Boxers, who attacked and killed many foreigners. The Western powers put it down. Japan becomes imperial. Tokugawa shogunate lasted 500 years, where they isolated Japan and banned foreigners. In 1853, U.S. commander asked to open up trade. In 1868, Emperor Meiji modernized Japan. In 1895, they took Korea. In the early 1900s, they took Indochina. In 1905, they fight Russia. 1914, they join World War I allies. 1937, they invade China. 1940, they join World War II Axis powers, and after World War II, they were occupied by the US until early 1950s. Imperialism in India. The background. In the 1600s, British East India Company established trading ports in Bombay, India. What made India a target? The new tech and weakening empires. British East India Company. It was created to control trade between Britain, India, and East Asia. The goal was to profit from selling cotton, cloth, silk, and sugar. The British said that they were there to restore order, but they manipulated Indian rulers. British introduced new education system and the English language. The Sepoy Mutiny. By 1857, British-Indian relationships were strained. The Sepoys were Indian soldiers who fought in the British Army. They had to bite off the ammunition cartridge, which was greased with pork and beef fat, which offended Sepoy Muslims and Indians. In 1858, extreme violence breaks out, so British send reinforcements and put down the mutiny. British government takes control directly, though. The resistance and independence movements. In 1885, Hindus formed the Hindu National Congress, Mahatma Gandhi the Great One. In 1906, Muslims created the Muslim League. Gandhi persuaded Indians to practice the passive resistance, refuse to pay tax, obey laws, and serve in the military to go against the British for their freedom. Indian independence. In 1947, the British were weakened by World War II, so they granted India independence. However, India got divided into two countries, Pakistan and the Republic of India. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos like this, and please watch the whole series for world history. Bye. Thanks, Appling.